Welcome to Salcedo Paranormal. This is episode 414, and tonight I am covering paranormal news. As always, you can find all episodes of the show, along with links to social media and other ways to contact me, at the podcast page, and that is salcedoparanormal.podbean.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.podbean.com. Always happy to hear from y'all, whether you have comments or questions or topic suggestions, or stories of paranormal experiences, whether they're your own or from others that you trust. Happy to either read those or have you join me on the show to talk about them. Thank you all for listening, whether you are here on Discord for the live streams, or you listen on the podcast or YouTube feeds, or if you catch 2 replays of the show every night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, on the Troubled Minds Radio Network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting, and it's right before Troubled Minds comes on. So thank you all. Sorry about that. I want to thank Michael Strange of Troubled Minds Radio and Rohan of the Exiled Minds podcast for producing the show and putting the music in there that you hear if you listen to the replays on the station at the beginning and end of every episode. I want to thank them both for putting all that in there and putting the shows up on the station. So, if you'd like to support the show, there are some different ways to do that. You can always share the show and then rate and review the show on your podcast platform of choice. I have written some paranormal fiction and nonfiction books that you can also check out on Amazon. And then I have direct donation links as well through PayPal and Venmo and Patreon if you like to support in those ways. So also I do have one announcement to make. Very excited about this. I will be attending the 2023 Mid-Michigan Paracon out in Mount Pleasant, and I will have more details on that as far as basically my schedule and all those things. I'm just going to attend. I'll just be wandering around there and listening in, and then also doing whatever I can to record, make recordings that I can then hopefully share on the show once I get back home. So it's going to be a weekend thing. It's November 4th and 5th, I believe. I will include the link to the website for the event in the episode description. And really looking forward to doing that, going there and sharing the show and also the Troubled Minds Radio Network with everyone there. And hopefully getting some new listeners and making some new friends. And so looking forward to that. Also, if that is another thing that if you all would like to, you can reach out through those donation links and help support the show in the way of basically offsetting some of the expenses that there will be in going there and staying there overnight, one night, and coming back home. So I don't have all the details as to who I'm going with yet worked out, or what times and all that, but as soon as those things are arranged, I will let you all know. And if anyone that hears this is going to be there, please reach out and let me know if you would like through either Discord or my Gmail. It's salcedoparanormal@gmail.com, and maybe we can meet while we're there. So obviously it all depends on people's schedules and resources and all those things. So, but I just want to put that out there. I plan on attending that Paracon. Really looking forward to it. It'll be my first time ever going to an event like that, and I'm looking forward to listening to as much as I can, and hopefully talking with some people, maybe getting some true paranormal stories from the web from there. That would be amazing, and see what else I can do. I have no idea how it's going to go. I've never done this before. So I will be doing what I can to bring you all whatever content I can. It'll be audio, but I'll do my best to bring as much as I can back home with me. So yeah, really excited about that, and I'll probably mention that a good once a week or so until that time. Again, that's not until just after Halloween. Actually, this week, the weekend after Halloween. Halloween this year, I believe, falls on a Tuesday, or at least the beginning of the week, anyway. And so it's on that weekend, the 4th and the 5th. So it's a Saturday and Sunday. And yeah, so I'm really excited about that. And still have to work out all the logistics, but definitely plan on going. And so looking forward to that. So just want to let you all know about what's going on there. So getting to the news here, I have a few articles that I didn't get to last week. And so we'll start with those. That's probably all we'll get through today. But that's okay. So let's see here. This first one is from thestar.com. And this title says, "New research and startling footage shows why it's time for academics to let UFOs buzz the ivory tower." It's quite the title there. Mentions that there was a research paper that was published recently, and it found nearly 20% of American academics have either seen a UFO or know someone who has. And so I'm not going to get into the footage part of this article. That just goes over more sort of government reports of things. But I thought the subject of the article itself was interesting in a few different ways. So I'll get into that here. And so it's talking about this paper that was recently released, and it was released in the journal Humanities and Social Science Communications. And the article says it found that nearly 20% of American academics have either seen a UFO or know someone who has. Mentions that faculty from 14 different disciplines across 144 universities were surveyed. And the authors of the paper say that the results demonstrated that faculty thinks the academic evaluation of UAP, unidentified anomalous phenomenon, information, and more academic research on this topic is important. Obviously outweighed skepticism, curiosity, outweighed skepticism or indifference. And I think this is interesting in a few different ways. Because, let me see here. The main thing is that I'm glad this came out, first of all. But this seems to me like it may be. I'm wondering about the increase or decrease in this number over time, and how this compares to other years. Because either way, that's more than I sort of expected, but also I just wonder how many others in that study sort of answered more conservatively, even though if they had ideas about these things as well. So, but neat article there, and it actually ties into the next article I have. And but yeah, I think it does bring up important points about how more people in the sort of academic or official worlds should be able to think about these things and look into these things and study them more. And hopefully that will happen in the years to come more and more. So let me see here. So yeah, that was that article here. And so let's see here. Let me get to the next article. Very kind of neat thing about these articles that I'm starting with tonight. They're all sort of about big picture, the big picture of things, which is I like to share these articles when I find them because I think that's important to look at just as much as the individual reports of people's experiences. I think you have to look at everything, and I apologize for any noises you're hearing. That is my cat Logan, apparently playing around right now. So, anyway, this next article is from studyfinds.org. This says, do aliens love America? It says 92% of UFO sightings take place in the United States. And I wonder really how they figured that out in any kind of study, because you're going to have sort of language barriers between areas, I would think, around the world. And that's also only what has been reported. Again, going back to how many people have experiences that never, ever talk about them with anyone, whether it's for these surveys or whatever. But at the same time, these studies sometimes are, again, I think they're interesting to just see who is willing to even sort of talk about these things and fill out these surveys. So, sort of a double-edged sword, I guess. Mentions here that so it says the U.S. is a hotspot for UFO sightings, UAP sightings, and it says that there is this survey that was commissioned by bonusfinder.com. It said that let's see here. Most UFO sightings were reported in the U.S., apparently. 126,094 reported sightings across all states since record keeping began. Mentions that now this is, I wonder if this is because of the whole proximity or not, but it mentions that in Canada, the country of Canada, the nation of Canada, or country of Canada, comes in second with, but their number is a lot lower. I really wonder if there's some kind of barriers to people receiving these polls or surveys that maybe we're just not hearing about. But so again, I just mentioned that the U.S. total is over, it's six figures basically. The sightings in Canada that are reported, again, I'm not saying this isn't all that's there or not, I don't know, but mentions 5,696 sightings during that same period of time. So that is a huge difference. The number 3 on that list of sightings over a certain period of time is the UK with 3,146 sightings. So, let's see here. It has a whole bunch of little charts here that you all might want to check out. And I already went over the top 3 in the most sightings. And but let me see. The next chart it has here. So let's see here. I mentioned, and this is more on the U.S. California, it says, tops the list of UFO hotspots. With, let me see here, 15,480 sightings reported across California, 7,835 in Florida, 6,889 in Washington, 5,814 in Texas, 5,627 in New York State, and that's basically the top 5 states. Let's see here. And I'm just going to look here at, so let me see here. Michigan is not even in the top 10, which, okay. Just had to check on that. Let's see here. they go into more here. It says, let's see here. There's a quote here from someone here. I'm trying to find who it was. But it mentions that it's difficult to tell whether we're seeing, I'm guessing this is from the reporting center. It's hard to tell if we're seeing a genuine spike in sightings, and if so, what this means, or whether what's happening is that a high proportion of sightings are being reported. And there's more to this quote here, and it mentions mainstream media covering things more. And I do think that's an important thing to mention there. With I wonder how common or how much these things are talked about around the world, and probably they're talked about more than you would think. It's just they're framed in different ways. Different words are used to talk about them. And so maybe that is part of also, again, leading back to that sort of language barrier in different ways. Let's see here. So, going down in the article here, and it mentions also this article mentions the subject of the last article as well. So, but neat couple of articles there that sort of look into these this topic of things that people are seeing that they can't explain. And I like how it uses the unidentified anomalous phenomenon instead of just aerial, because people see things everywhere, it seems. So both in the air and then space and then on the ground and water, all those areas. So that takes care of those first two articles. This next one is from bigthink.com, and I really would suggest everyone, if you have a chance, to read this one, because it surprised me in a way. And when I first started reading it, I thought it was going to be sort of just a skeptical and possibly just biased look at the paranormal and ghosts and all those things. But anyway, this title of this article says, "If ghosts are real, then they aren't supernatural." I think, and that's the title of the article here. And I think that's difficult because there are so many things that people associate as being ghost-like or ghostly or a ghost, in terms of residual energy images and sounds, in terms of possibly different interactions with other points in time, and just all these other things. But let's see here. This article is, let's see here. I'm trying to find the author of this article here, because it is a good sort of a thought experiment or just to look into these topics. And I'm going to scroll down here to the bottom. I still don't see their name. Might be in the different version here. But it mentions that a long time before humanity learned how to write, there were stories told about spirits and other things that people couldn't explain. And the writer of this article mentions that they're a scientist. And so they say they're skeptical of all these beliefs and these different beings. But it goes into details on sort of their view on, basically from what I read, it comes down to this idea that just that these things that we can't explain now, hopefully maybe we will be able to someday using scientific terms. And I don't know if that'll happen or not. It would be amazing in a way if that happened, but also I do like the fact that we don't know all the answers. So I'm not sure how I feel about the idea of being able to find all the answers when I don't know. I don't know if we can ever really do that. Maybe possibly many years down the line, but I don't think we're anywhere near there yet. And I also think that the paranormal, it knows how to change. People's experiences over the years have changed. There are some people I've heard talk about all these different experiences people have had where similar sightings and experiences with ghosts and cryptids and other beings such as possibly fae or fairy or similar beings, and then aliens. There are some stories where you can find similarities, differences as well, but still similarities, and so it makes some people wonder if there isn't some other consciousness out there that can take different forms to interact with people. And I do think that's part of it. I don't think that's all of it. I think that may explain some things, especially where maybe there's different sightings of different things all in the same area. But I don't know. I guess I'm sort of rambling with this one. But neat article there. Definitely recommend reading it. It's the writer does a lot better at describing their thoughts in that than I'm doing with it right now. But some neat articles there, just like I said, about the big picture of things. And I always like to share those when I find them. And see what you all think as well. So I think that'll do it for articles for today. I have 3 more, but I'll have to save them for next time. And go from there. But yeah, I'm glad that these articles pop up every so often, because I think it's important to sort of reframe everything and see what we've noticed in between over time from one sort of appearance of one of these articles to the next, and see maybe what we have figured out, or at least what we could have possibly figured out. So again, I want to thank everyone who listens to the show. Also, everyone who has been on the show with me. I appreciate everyone, all the guests. Again, whenever I share an episode that has a guest that has a link, please go check it out. Again, also please check out Trouble Minds Radio with Michael Strange, and then the Exile Minds podcast with Rohan. They're the ones that produce the shows that you hear on the station. So put in the music at the beginning and the end of those replays. And just one more time, I want to say that I will be attending later on this year the Mid-Michigan Paracon, Paranormal Convention. And looking forward to that, and I will give you all more details on that as it gets closer. And I'll include the link to the website in the episode description. And we'll go from there. Maybe, like I said, if anyone ends up planning on going, let me know, and maybe we can meet there. So, and the plans for, tomorrow's show is going to be more true paranormal stories from the web. So looking forward to that. I had a neat little synchronicity with the show I did last night with one of the stories involving images on blank or dark TV screens, and the last night's episode of the Trouble Minds Radio. So go check that out as well. Thank you all for listening. I will talk to you all on the next episode of Salcedo Paranormal. Take care.